including regular monthly usage and system maintenance and repairs. I just want to make sure that we are no longer paying for long-distance calls. Is that correct?
That is correct. My understanding, we did cancel that per their request here, that we did cancel their phone line.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Other comments by council? I've got a motion and a second on the floor to authorize the mayor to sign the annual lease agreement. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carries. Trevor, Agenda Bill 50-10, the revised interagency agreement for stormwater.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Staff's resubmitting the interagency agreement regarding citizen involvement in the protection and maintenance of stormwater facilities, grant development, and administrative services between Clark County and the cities of Washougal, Battleground, Camas, La Center, Ridgefield, and Vancouver. The original agreement was approved in December 2009 and was thereafter signed by the Mayor Pro Tem. Additional information was later added to the document, and some structural changes were made to the original contract by the county and the city of Vancouver, though those entities through their approval processes. This grant allows the city to accept funding to cover the cost of administering and managing our new stormwater program. The county will be the administering agency regarding the grant funding. Will Noonan, our stormwater department manager for the city, will be Washougal's representative for the stormwater program, which will include committee membership and meeting attendance, assistance in grant strategies and deliverables. The city will be submitting all invoices for this work and participatory functions to the county by listing all hours, expenses, and activities by the grant task. It is estimated these funds will cover 10% of the annual cost for Mr. Noonan's salary and benefits, or up to $14,124.00. The recommended action this evening is to authorize the mayor to sign the interagency agreement for citizen involvement in the protection and maintenance of stormwater facilities, grant development, and administrative services when it becomes available.
So move.
Second?
I've got a motion in a second to authorize the mayor to sign the interagency agreement for citizen involvement in the protection and maintenance of stormwater facilities, grant development, and administrative services. Any discussion? All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer.
I'm kind of quiet. Director Evers, do you know when these funds will be available?
Yeah, the original terms of the contract lay out December 1st, 2009 to June 2011. So I'm under the assumption there will be a lag once this is executed, most likely a 4 to 6 week lag, depending on the lead agency's timeline, which is Clark County. So I would say by summer this would be implemented.
Okay.
I also did follow up on the discrepancy between the city of Camas and the city of Washougal for the amount that was awarded. Camas had additional hours for their stormwater engineering tech. They had anticipated 4 hours a week, whereas with Mr. Noonan we anticipated close to 2 hours. And that fluctuates from month to month depending on which meeting they'll be attending and exactly what the stakeholders committee will be providing in that specific month. So Camas has dedicated more staff time towards it than Washougal, essentially. If that makes sense.
Yes, that's correct. How will the $14,124 be absorbed into, will it be considered a revenue source? Yes.
It's a grant source.
Okay. And this is yearly?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, is this a one-time payment, or is this a yearly payment, or what is this program?
My understanding is this is a one-time opportunity through the Department of Ecology and through the lead agency, Clark County. Typically with programs that are set up similar to this, depending on participation and effectiveness, they are reconsidered for funding for future cycles, but nothing is guaranteed at this point.
Thank you.
Any other discussion from council? Hearing none, I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Evers, Agenda Bill 51-10, proposed change to the ground lease by Robert Angelo for Angelo Park.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Was given the opportunity to meet with Mr. Angelo as well as Mr. Marchinsky. Mr. Marchinsky represents the Camas-Washougal Soccer Club. We were originally approached by Mr. Angelo to see if there was any opportunity to cover the close to $5,200 in annual taxes for the two parcels at the Angelo Field. When we met with Mr. Marchinsky on site at Angelo Field, we were able to work out specifics on what the soccer club would be able to maintain and repair and do recurring mowing maintenance, and also identified specifics for staff, public or park staff within Public Works to be able to do. So essentially, the actual playing surface, which is the lower surface closer to the Pendleton property, would be the sole responsibility of the Camas-Washougal Soccer Club, and the weed eating around the chain link fence as well. There's two separate options before you. One is a higher estimated annual cost to the city, and the second is a lower annual cost. At this point, staff is recommending updating the ground lease agreement to cover the taxes in full for the parcel owner. The in-kind match from the soccer club would then not be a cost to the city out of the general fund via the Parks Fund for labor and maintenance and repair in what the Camas-Washougal Soccer Club is offering in the labor and in-kind match. The recommended action this evening is to implement option number 2 and allow the mayor to sign the revised ground lease agreement when it becomes available through the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we implement option 2 and change the ground lease for what's generally known as Angelo Park.
Second. Got a motion and a second to approve option 2 and authorize the mayor to sign the new lease agreement with the Angelos for Angelo Park. Discussion? Dave?
There were three parties involved in this negotiation. One was the Director of Public Works, the other was Mr. Angelo, and the other was the soccer club. All three of them brought something to the table to get this resolved and come up with this option. And I was impressed with the process which Mr. Evers superintended, and with every participant that was there. I think it's worthy of note that the Angelo family has been a major contributor in terms of civic-mindedness and generosity for a couple of decades for this field. And I commend this solution to the council.
Other comments? I do want to, I'll turn all my cards over. I do want to make sure and make sure that everybody understands one of the things that when we met with Mr. Angelo, one of the comments that he made was that they didn't want to be seen as holding something over the city and, you know, asking the city to change all that. His request was if there was anything that the city may be able to participate in. And unfortunately, as you saw in the communication I sent out, that message kind of got misconstrued a little